Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and nothing happened? No bad news, no phone call, no clear reason, but something inside you just doesn't feel right anymore? Like something shifted, and you don't know when it happened, or how it happened, or how to fix it, and you try to ignore it at first. You tell yourself it's just a phase, just stress, just something temporary, but it stays. And the hardest part is, you can't even explain it. Because if someone asked you right now, what's wrong? You wouldn't know what to say. Because technically, nothing is wrong. Your life still looks normal. You're still doing what you're supposed to do. Still showing up. Still functioning. But inside, something is quietly falling apart. And you feel it in moments no one else sees. In the silence, in the pauses, in the spaces between everything you do. If you've been asking yourself why God feels silent, this might be the part no one explains. There was a man in the Bible named Job, and his story doesn't start in pain. It starts in peace. He had a life that made sense. Not perfect, but stable, predictable, understandable. He had people. He had structure. He had something to hold on to. The kind of life where things feel aligned. Where you wake up and everything still feels like it belongs. The kind of life people look at and say, he's doing everything right. And maybe you've had a season like that, where things made sense, where your faith felt steady, where your life felt clear, where you weren't questioning everything all the time. And then, something shifted. And it didn't warn you. It didn't prepare you. It didn't come in a way you could control. It just happened. And suddenly, things start to collapse. Not slowly. Not in a way that gives you time to adjust. But all at once. Things begin to disappear. And you try to hold on. But there's nothing to grab. His stability, gone. His security, gone. The people he loved, gone. And one moment, everything is there. And the next, it isn't. And suddenly, he's sitting in the dirt, alone. With nothing familiar left around him. Trying to understand what just happened to his life. And maybe that's the part that hits the hardest. Not just what you lost, but how fast it changed. How something that felt so solid suddenly feels fragile. And now you're left there, trying to replay everything in your mind, looking for the moment where it went wrong. His body breaking down, his skin burning, everything he had, now out of reach. And the question starts quietly, but it doesn't stay quiet. Did I do something wrong? Or did something just change? And no one told me? Did I miss something? Was there a moment I should have noticed? A decision I should have made differently? Something I could have prevented? Or was this always going to happen, no matter what I did? And that's the part that's hard to accept, because we want control. We want cause and effect. We want to believe that if we do things right, things will stay right. But sometimes, life doesn't follow that pattern. Not because you failed, not because you walked away, but because life doesn't always ask for permission. And this is where the story becomes uncomfortable. Because there's no clear explanation, no immediate answer, no moment where everything suddenly makes sense, no voice telling you exactly why this is happening. Just silence. And silence is heavier than pain. Because pain gives you something to react to, something to fight, something to point at. But silence gives you nothing. It leaves you sitting there, with your thoughts, with your questions, with everything you don't understand. And that's where the questions start getting louder. Did I do something wrong? Did I miss something? Why now? Why this? Why like this? And maybe you've never lost everything like Job, but you felt that moment. When something important slipped through your hands, and you couldn't stop it. When something changed, and you had no control over it. When you tried to do things right, and still ended up confused. When your life didn't break because of a bad decision, but because something shifted, and you couldn't hold it in place. Job didn't run from that moment. He didn't pretend it was okay. He didn't rush to fix it. He didn't force an answer. He sat in it, in the confusion, in the silence, in the discomfort. He questioned. He wrestled. He stayed there, without pretending he understood. And that might be the most honest part of his story, because sometimes faith is not having the answer. It's not clarity. It's not certainty. It's not knowing what comes next. Sometimes faith is staying. Staying when it's uncomfortable. Staying when it's confusing. Staying when nothing makes sense. And at some point, Job stops trying to explain everything. Not because he gave up, but because he realized he didn't need to understand everything to stay. And something shifts, not around him, but inside him. Not in what he lost, but in how he holds what's left. And maybe that's the part no one talks about. That sometimes, the moment nothing makes sense, is the moment something deeper is being formed. Not visible, not obvious, not immediate, but real. So maybe the real question is not, why did this happen? Maybe it's, what do you do when there is no answer? Do you run, or do you stay? And if you're in that place right now, where things don't make sense, where something feels off, where you're carrying questions you can't explain, you're not the only one who's been there. You're not broken. You're not doing it wrong. You're just in the part of the story that doesn't make sense yet. This felt like you today. Just write me in the comments. You don't have to explain anything else. If this kind of message is what you need right now, subscribe. There's a new one every week. And if someone you know is going through this, send them this video. Sometimes it arrives right on time. What part of this felt real to you?